Yeah, come on. Yep. It's a friendly world.
So I've been looking into the role of the Inquisition, which is a group of institutions within the governmental system of the Catholic Church, whose aim it was to combat heresy. It's really nothing more than just a system of thought policing. And if you say something heretical, you're called to the carpet to explain yourself and, of course, recant and make sure you're not going out of bounds.
I'm doing fine.
That was a joke about the world being flat, right?
Was it?
See that? I mean, launches right into it. That was a joke about the world being flat. No need to preface it. He just brings it up because this is the sole point of bringing him out here tonight, was to have him recant. This is thought policing. Not just for Shaq, but for all of you. And he may even be in on it. Probably is. But regardless, this is thought policing for the general public.
Of course it was.
When I heard you say that, people were getting all excited. It's like, there's no way that he wasn't joking in this situation.
They got upset. And my theory is, I bought a bus a couple of summers ago. So when I drive from Florida to California, it seems flat to me.
I see. Okay.
So you ever been in a flight and you get ready to land and you pull up the window and you look?
Yeah.
It seems flat, right?
Well.
So that was my theory. I'm just joking.
Now, if this is the joke he was making, it doesn't make any sense because in the original conversation, Shaquille O'Neal was talking about satellites and not trusting satellite data and about how your mind could be totally controlled when people provide for you what you're supposed to read, what you hear, and so it's kind of like he is walking it back. That's why I'm kind of on the fence about whether or not this is intentional. But regardless, doesn't it seem strange how eager Jimmy Kimmel is to put out this fire? There's something very desperate about the way they try to cover this conversation up and make sure no one has an errant thought. Like I'm saying, it's thought policing. It reminds me, it's like Jimmy Kimmel is the Grand Inquisitor of today's Inquisition.
Relax.
They almost took your PhD in education away.
Yeah, they did.
I know the judge and Snake Hips and I were expendable. The carrier had to be protected.
You're wrong again. Plan 5 called for a diverting hit-and-run maneuver to draw the bandits off until we could get to you.
Nope. Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? How about this?
It's like the deep South Pole, if there was one. There isn't, though.
Thanks for walking me in my door.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Andy Kaufman faked his own death as his ultimate last prank. And there are people that...
Almost 30 years after his death, a brand new Andy is alive rumor is raging through the internet. Just over the past 24 hours. This role, according to a source of theirs. Can you respond to that? Is that true?
It's good to be back at the Council on Foreign Relations. As Pete mentioned, I've been a member for a long time and was actually a director for some period of time. I never mentioned that when I was...
Trouble at mill.
Oh, no. What sort of trouble?
One on Crossbeam's gone out to school on Cheddle.
Pardon?
One on Crossbeam's gone out to school on Cheddle.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Our chief weapon is surprise. Surprise and fear. Fear and surprise. Our two weapons are fear and surprise. And ruthless efficiency. Our three weapons are fear and surprise and ruthless efficiency.
My fellow Americans, our long national nightmare is over.
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 Please welcome Mr. Andy Kaufman. Tell me about Taxi. Would you like a tissue? Would you like a tissue?
Why don't you say that before? What do we got here? Cam, this is William Klein. He was wrecking an office.
I just wanted to meet them face to face. I wanted them to admit what they were doing.
Who is they? He was in the office of the Trilateral Commission. Trilateral Commission? Yeah, the Trilateral Commission. All right, what is the Trilateral Commission? It's an organization founded in 1973 by David Rockefeller to bring together business and political leaders from the United States, Europe, Japan, so they could work together for better economic and political cooperation between their nations.
And that's what they'd like us to believe. But you see, what they're really up to is a scheme to plant their own loyal members in positions of power in this country, to work to erase national boundaries and create an international community, and in time bring about a one world government with David Rockefeller calling the shots.
I take it they're pressing charges?
Yeah, well, he broke a globe and some UNICEF artwork. Well, they're in on it too.
Okay, Mr. Klein, if you just...
I'm telling you, our whole way of life as we know it is in jeopardy.
I appreciate that information.
But I have the documented evidence. It's all in there. Show him.
Well, he's got these magazines here.
Conspiracy Review? Suppressed Truth Roundup?
The whole master plan is exposed.
Yeah, well,
You're still not convinced, huh? Would you like to hear the names of just a few of the people who have been on the Trilateral Commission?
Not particularly. Are you through?
Could be flat, could not be flat. There could be 12 continents. How would you know? That's a matter of how we draw it up. But I feel like with the world, with the Earth, when you stand back and you look at the horizon, you can see curvature. You can actually see it, unlike a dinosaur or something. Yeah, or if you fly in one direction, you'll come back around, which in a flat world probably would not happen. That is true. That is true.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Newton didn't know. So Newton simply threw his hands up and said, I don't know, and said, I don't know. So I'm going to invent something called gravitational pull.
What is gravity?
I have no idea. Okay, next question.
Wow.
No, here's the difference. We kind of think the world is flat. Flat.
When you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. Yeah.
The new horizon, well now, there ain't no flies on me, 'cause I'm wise and I say you'll be so surprised. You'll laugh till you cry when you get to the edge of the world.
With this ball being hit against the ceiling, against this wall. Let's look here at the numbers. You get your 8 and 1 for 9. You get your 4 and 7 for 11. You get your coded 9-11. But what's the point? The masses are still going to buy it. They're still going to believe it like all the rest. Like I said, nothing you could show them. Nothing will convince them. They think they're too smart to be fooled. They got to think again. They got to rethink their so-called reality. They don't want to go where the truth is.
As far as I'm concerned, the world could still be flat. And they said Earth was flat.
earth was flat, if you went too far you would fall off. Now the earth is round, if the shape change again, everybody would have start laugh. The average man can't prove up most of the things that he chooses to speak of.
Invented the globe. So this world is round story is 100% bullshit. It's total fiction. Yet how did our grandparents learn this? We learned this? Our grandchildren are probably going to learn this. How come? Because history is pop culture.
Yeah, yep. It's a friendly world.
Nothing is real.
Walk the country and treat the country as so much curved earth. And without paying much attention to this...
The highest IQ in North America, and he receives millions of dollars every year from the process of fluoridation.
Oh, where they add fluoride to the water.
Yeah, which he invented.
He invented
and
that.
Patented in the 50s, so he really doesn't have to work at all.
That's amazing.
He also was on the team that came up with sonar.
The man responsible for fluoridation process, the reporter...
I want a different story. No, this is the story that you get.
Somebody made these up. It's not a conspiracy. They don't talk about it, and they might not admit about it, but there's been money spent on it. Not so much a secretive conspiracy. It's
for the Council of the Americas.
Have an outpost of the council right here down the street from the State Department. We get a lot of advice from the council, so this will mean I won't have as far to go to be told what we should be doing and how we should.
ISIL, North Korea, poverty, climate change, none of those things weighed on my mind. In other breaking news, the world is round, not flat.
Common knowledge, but important nonetheless. Feel not as though it is a sphere we live on, rather an infinite plane which has the illusion of leading yourself back to the point of origin. Once we understand that all the spheres in the skies are just large infinite planes, it will be plain to see.
The first major study of the Trilateral Commission 30 years ago.
Nothing is real.
Walk the country and treat the country as so much curved earth. And without paying much attention to this...
The highest IQ in North America, and he receives millions of dollars every year from the process of fluoridation.
Oh, where they add fluoride to the water.
Yeah, which he invented.
He invented
and
that.
Patented in the 50s, so he really doesn't have to work at all.
That's amazing.
He also was on the team that came up with sonar.
The man responsible for fluoridation process, the reporter...
I want a different story. No, this is the story that you get.
Somebody made these up. It's not a conspiracy. They don't talk about it, and they might not admit about it, but there's been money spent on it. Not so much a secretive conspiracy. It's
for the Council of the Americas.
Have an outpost of the council right here down the street from the State Department. We get a lot of advice from the council, so this will mean I won't have as far to go to be told what we should be doing and how we should.
ISIL, North Korea, poverty, climate change, none of those things weighed on my mind. In other breaking news, the world is round, not flat.
Common knowledge, but important nonetheless. Feel not as though it is a sphere we live on, rather an infinite plane which has the illusion of leading yourself back to the point of origin. Once we understand that all the spheres in the skies are just large infinite planes, it will be plain to see.
The first major study of the Trilateral Commission 30 years ago.